Obligatory podcast intro.
Hi, hello, and welcome. This is Flipping Pages with Matt and Adam. I'm Matt. This is my co-host, Adam. And this show is where we take all 99 letters of the alphabet. We put them in a dog bowl, and then we pick a letter, and then pick a comic that begins with that letter. Yep. I don't know his. He doesn't know mine. And spoilers ahead for everything.
From the beginning to the end.
For everything, beginning to end. I picked, what did I get? I got R. Mm-hmm. What'd you get? You got
J.
J.
Yeah, I was kind of worried about doing J.
R was a little more difficult than I thought too.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be
an easy one.
Yeah, I really did, but no, there's a
at the library.
Well, I'll just say it that our last episode I'd picked a second comic that just stopped, and I was going to do it again this week, and I was like, I
allowed him to change it.
I did my research and was like, I still read it because I wanted to, but I did my research and was like, all right, this is not the one.
It literally ends again.
It just stops, and I
was
like,
that's crazy.
I don't want to do that again. So
the odds? What are the odds on that?
I mean, yeah.
Not good, right? Like, you should have bought a lottery ticket or something.
I mean, it's the library. It's that bookstore you go to.
Yeah.
You know, so who knows what someone bought.
Exactly. And they're not even regular retail stores.
But when I look them up, they just not. There's 3 of them I found that have just completely stopped.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, he called me because, like you said, we really try not to talk to each other about what we're gonna do and
or
what we're
cherry
doing.
pick them.
Yeah, and we definitely try not to cherry pick. Yeah, but he was like, dude, it stops again. This is the 3rd one.
I can't keep doing that.
And I was like, oh, I'm more than allow that. Yeah. That's crazy.
I was like, I'm just gonna get mad and be like, yeah, it's pretty cool, but then it stops, so no resolution for anything at all. But anyway, so I drew R. I got Recess Pieces.
Recess Pieces.
Recess Pieces.
Oh, clever.
Yeah, Recess Pieces. So it's by Bob. Story and art by Bob Fingerman.
Fingerman.
What did I say?
Fingerman.
Fingerman? That's what it says. I'm sure he says Fingerman. It's like, like those seaman last names are like the seaman. Like, no, it's not. It's not Fingerman.
Yeah.
But anyway, Bob Fingerman. The art, you saw it the other day, is very like it looks like Garbage Pail Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids. I said Mad
TV or Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
Even some hints of like Cabbage Patch because they're not always like ugly.
Uh-huh.
Some of the characters are cute, so they look.
They're very cherubish, like cherubic.
They're cherubic. Is that real?
Yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
Nice. Yeah, very cherubic. Mad Magazine and
it's
Garbage Pail Kids. I see it.
The Garbage Pail Kids and Mad, I think, is.
But there's some shots where they look awkward, like it's the 70s. So like some of the kids look like these 70s kids with the cool jackets and braces.
Oh,
and
they just say they were ugly.
No, they do. They look very ugly.
Thought,
They got their teeth sticking out. They have braces. They're all jacked
Real
up.
world, yeah.
So there was a little note. I'm not going to read the backsplash, the description, because it kind of spoils literally everything.
Yeah.
But
really, they did it on it?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So George Romero covered night, dawn, and day, but what about recess? So I'm gonna just go through these characters real quick. All right,
cool.
We got Wendy. She's a short little redhead girl.
Wendy.
So I'll bring it up in their descriptions as I'm talking about them, but generally, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna keep counting.
Okay, so Lisa. It's a tall blonde girl.
Lisa.
Awful person. Just says horrible things. It's hilarious. Hanlon. He's a Boy Scout. He's dressed in a Boy Scout uniform.
Okay, Hanlon.
Duffy McGluckin.
Okay, that's awesome.
The big fat dumb bully. He's been like held back a few years.
Cool.
Oscar is this crazy Christian kid.
Okay.
And they're all below 8th, 7th grade, so they're all
good kids. They're actual kids.
4th grade and 2nd grade, I think, are the main characters.
I guess. Oh, 4th and 2nd?
4th and 2nd. We're talking very young.
That's younger than I thought.
These are young kids, so
yeah,
very
that's
young.
Elementary school.
Bobby is our main character. Drew is. He's the gay kid, but that's kind of his.
Bobby and then Drew.
Bobby,
okay.
yeah, Bobby's the main character.
Okay.
Drew is the funny gay kid.
Okay.
Like that, I don't want to like just generalize it and say, oh, he's the gay kid, but like,
well, when you're quick descripting characters,
exactly. But that was like his whole shtick.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, okay.
Like,
so it's
there's a
kind
lot
of
of
important,
jokes.
actually. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of jokes revolve around him being gay.
All right.
And Jerry, which is Bobby's best friend.
Okay.
Travis.
He's
a badass. He's a black kid. He's a black kid.
Cool.
He's badass. And then Renee is Travis's little sister.
Okay.
And then Atsushi.
Okay. Atsushi.
Atsushi. That's Renee's future husband. So they're pretty adorable.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I get
you know, at one point in the comic, she's like, "Show me your chin chin," and he's like, "I don't want to show you my chin chin." She's like, "I showed you mine," and then he's like, "Not." And then, you know, they get in trouble for like, "Yeah, no one's showing anything." He's like, "Oh man, Renee got me in trouble. I hate Renee." And then in his head, he's like, "I'm gonna marry her one day." And she's
Adorable.
like, "Listen to my future husband and stuff." It's pretty adorable. All right, so this is Ben Turpin's school, grades K through 8.
Yeah.
This all takes place in one day.
K through 8. Okay, I
So-
see why there was a confusion. Okay.
Yeah, very young kids.
Yeah.
So this starts with
Hey,
Dr.
sorry, real quick.
You good?
That was 11 characters, I think. You
Oh,
just
yeah?
rambled off. Yeah, I think it was 11 or 12.
11. That's quite
At
a bit.
least 11
Did
and-
I have you beat you, or do you got more?
UB? Oh, I didn't actually count mine yet.
You
but
look like you have more.
I think I do. Yeah.
You got a second page. Yeah, you got more. All right, so this is in the 70s, 1974. This all takes place in one day. So this is Mr. Elber's early morning biology lab. It's him and these two nerdy kids, and they're sitting there. They're messing with a pig, and the doctor's all psyched. And he's like, "We're gonna reanimate this pig. We're gonna bring it to life." Basically,
What?
that's what they're doing. So like they kind of go over it real quick about how, but they're like, we're gonna reanimate dead flesh. Like,
What?
Forget, bringing it back to life. We're gonna bring it back like that. It's so he's super psyched. you
Yeah.
know? So they do the experiment. Like I said, they don't go into it, but they release this purple cloud.
Some gas.
Yeah, some gas. So that starts going through the school.
Oh, okay.
So then it breaks down where everyone's at in the morning when they're showing up. There's Bobby.
Oh, the characters look hilarious.
That's Travis right there. And then I always forget that
I see
Jerry.
why the Cabbage Patch.
Yeah,
Now-
right? You
Now
see
I
that?
see the Cabbage Patch.
So that's Jerry. So they come up on Bobby. They're like, "Hey man, what are you doing?" He's looking at a Playboy magazine.
Nice.
And it's the issue that the bully Duffy's mom is in.
Ooh.
So she works in the cafeteria, and she got some big old round titties.
Yeah.
And they're looking at him in Playboy. So
Oh, bad luck.
they're all psyched, and they're enjoying that. Like, better not let Duffy see that.
That's what I was thinking.
So Duffy's already been shown picking on this kid in the Boy Scout uniform.
Okay.
He's like, "I really hate a man in uniform," and starts punching on him, just treating him like shit, really. So it cuts to some of the main kids in gym class. Bobby, oh my gosh, I forgot his name again. Jerry. Bobby, Jerry, Wendy, and Lisa. So they're all in gym class, and this gym teacher is insane. He's like, "I've never seen a bunch of pigeon-toed, sparrow-chested ninnies, and it's my job to whip you potatoes into shape." And Bobby is like, the kids are very quippy. He's like, "I can't remember. Is this abuse or not?"
Okay.
Like, so they're always making jokes. It's very funny. It came out in 2006, so it's very much a product of its time. So the way they talk, the words they say, it's a little rough. And I'm sure if you picked it up now, like I did, you'd be like, "Whoa, that's a little too hard there."
Yeah.
Like the special kids come through the gym and they kind of start talking about them.
Yeah, it's because they're little kids makes it seem like it's worse.
I think that's like the whole basis on South. They're not seeing it as adults.
Yeah.
And making fun of it. It's through a child's eyes,
innocent.
and exactly they
Yeah.
don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they're not trying to be mean.
They're not.
It just comes out kind of
Yeah.
like that.
Well, the Lisa girl's pretty mean. So she's talking
You said
shit
she was
about her.
terrible, so.
Yeah, she's a bad person. So they are all in 4th grade except for Renee and Tushy. She calls him Tushy.
Yeah.
Tushy. Sorry, Tushy. Yeah, so that's what he's referred to for the rest of the comic, basically, is Tushy.
How they spell it? I have to
T-U-S-H-Y,
Okay.
like your butt.
Yeah.
Tushy.
Gotcha.
So they're in 4th grade. It's just showing them where everyone's at. Bobby ends up going to the bathroom, and Duffy's in there, starts messing with him again. He's about to give him a swirly because he hears some kid taking a shit.
It just instantly.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm gonna give him
fresh harvest, let's go.
What?
And Bobby's freaking out. So this older kid walks out and he looks awful. He looks sick. See, you can see the purple cloud kind of floating through a lot of these panels.
At the bottom of the panel.
Yeah,
by
so
their
like
feet.
some of the shots will be in the classroom. You can see it in the corner.
It's showing it spreading everywhere.
Exactly. It's really cool. So
That's cool.
he comes in, he ends up passing out, and they end up bailing. Bobby's like, I'm going to go tell the principal or someone. And Duffy's like, I'm skipping class. I need to get the hell out of here. And he's, like I said, he's been held back, so he should be in probably 8th grade.
Yeah. Yeah, he looks big.
Yeah, so the principal now is a dick, so he's locking all the doors unrelated to anything that's about to happen because the kids keep cutting class like Duffy. So he's like, that'll keep them little hoodlums from cutting class, and he chains the doors and locks them up.
Oh, damn.
That's the janitor Slappy, who actually protests against it, like, hey man, isn't this illegal? But he's not worried because downstairs he's got Mrs. McGluckin, Duffy's mom, the cafeteria lady. He's got her downstairs in his little bed in the boiler room.
Ah, okay.
And he's about to hit that. So.
Yeah, he didn't need to get out of there right then.
Yeah, so they're in class, and one of the kids isn't feeling well. Another one of the 8th graders is like, hey man, this nerd is not doing well.
Yeah, this dude's sick.
And teacher tells him to, get out of here, go see the nurse. And he picks up his picture, and it's a picture of him eating someone. So he drew.
It sure is.
Drew a picture of himself eating something.
Yeah, he's a vor connoisseur.
So he's walking to the bathroom. That guy got sent to the nurse. So again, they're back in class. Bobby is back in class, and the teacher's like, so instead of the science class, y'all can all go watch the 8th grade's play rehearsal. So they're like,
rehearsal,
whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, let's go. So Bobby ends up dropping the Playboy magazine, and Lisa, the little bitch she is, she immediately tells on him. It's like he's got a girly mag, so he gets sent to the principal's office.
Of course.
Yeah, and the teacher picks it up. He's like, oh, this is the issue Miss McGluckin's in.
Everybody knows?
Oh, they all know.
Okay.
Yeah, they just don't want Duffy to know that they know because he'll get pissed.
Does Duffy know?
I don't know. They never said it. They never bring it up to him. They never are like, hey, Duffy, I was looking at your mom's tits.
I figured that was going to be definitely something
it
that
doesn't
happens.
come up. They just like keep it on the slide. He might not even know that his mom's got nudie pics out there.
I think that's better. Just to be ignorant of it.
Okay,
Ignorance is bliss.
It's not Playboy. It's Satan's scrapbook, but it's basically Playboy.
Satan's scrap.
Or it might be a little harder, like Penthouse and Hustler. But all they said was tits. All they said was her boobies. So
that's not.
Yeah. So so everyone but Bobby is at the play rehearsal, and then it cuts to the sick kid that got sent out from class. He's in the nurse's office. Then it cuts to other 8th grade class right here. It's basically just showing where everyone is.
Yeah.
And so in
Set
the background, a teacher walks in with glazed over eyes. And then the next scene jumps back to the play, and everyone is getting eaten by zombies.
Oh, it hops right into it.
Yeah, so the 8th graders started turning and started biting the other 8th graders, and it's just pandemonium. The kids are sitting there, and they're like, man, I don't want to sound like a queer, but I like this part.
This is cool.
And Lisa, she's the one who's actually like, I don't think this is part of it. I think this might be real. And they just sit there, watch it, and eventually they do get up. They're like, "Yo, this is gross either way."
Legit, yeah.
So let's get out of here. And then it cuts to Hanlon, the Boy Scout kid. He's running through the halls because it didn't show what he saw, but he's running from something.
Yeah.
And he runs into the hall monitor, and he's like, "This teacher is eating this teacher," and she's like, "Quit lying." She goes on this huge speech about how that generation in 1974 is like the me generation, and like basically what you hear people have said since we were kids about every generation.
This was 2004?
2006.
Oh, when it came.
And it's set in 74. So she's still saying the same shit, which is really funny to me. So he runs into her and is like, hey, these teachers are eating each other. Like, something's going on. So she doesn't believe him, and he takes her in the room, and there's the science teacher munching on another teacher just right in the middle of the room. Some of the other kids have turned, and some of the other kids are fighting him off.
Oh, that's a good. I like that page. Go back for me.
Oh yeah, it's cool art. It's so crazy looking.
Yeah.
It's so like cute, like you said, cherubic.
Yeah.
And then this is like he's eating guts and
It's
got
a
his
good
stomach open.
juxtaposition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really fun to look at and read. It was a good read. So anyway, he freaks out. He's like handling the Boy Scout. He freaks out. He takes off running. He's gone. So Bobby was like bullshitting. The main character Bobby was like bullshitting outside the principal's office. He's like, man, is this really worth? Like I should have just went to see the play. So he walks in.
Oh
and,
yeah, he still doesn't know shit's going down.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, not really.
Okay.
So he comes in. The sick kid that got sent to the nurse's office is in there with the nurse, and they're eating the principal.
Oh,
so
that's
he's
awesome.
on the desk getting his guts torn out.
Oh, that's
so
a
he,
really cool.
and he
one.
kind of quips. He sits there. He's like, "Check, please."
Oh my
like,
god.
no, it's full of that.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just say it now. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really funny book, and I think the development of the kids is really good. I'll get into it more later. But so he freaks out. He takes off down the hall. So Boy Scouts running, Bobby's running. All the other kids are still stuck in the play rehearsal. They don't know what's going on yet. Renee and Tushy are in second grade. They're still in the classroom. So Bobby's running, and he's like, that was the nastiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I'm going to put throwing up at the top of my list of things to do. And he runs in these other kids, and they start explaining, like, yo, they were eating someone. He's like, oh, so you're saying that this has happened previous to me seeing that. You saw someone else eating someone else. And they were like, yes. And the other kid's like, oh, that reminds me. So he starts throwing up. And then Bobby's like, oh, yeah. And he starts throwing up. And then all the other kids see it, and then they start throwing up.
Oh,
so
that's a good panel.
I say that because they're like, where's the janitor with that puke powder? Like, we need him. They turn around. He's standing there, but he's a zombie now.
Yeah, of course.
So they all start to take off the run, but they all slip on the puke, except for Bobby. And he's just kind of standing there looking at him like, I can't help you, as they get eaten by other adults that had just come out of nowhere. Basically, the school's full. All teachers. So and then it cuts to Renee and Tushy. They're in the second grade class, and the teacher just out of nowhere attacks Renee. And then Tushy out of nowhere just flying kicks her in the face.
Yeah, martial arts style. Yeah.
Which he's Asian, so
of course.
you know,
Duh.
like that's what I mean. Like, it's a little on the nose.
Yeah.
But it's children, and he talks in broken English, like,
Oh, of course.
you not eat my Mrs. Lady Wife zombie teacher.
Oh my God, he's been here for like 3 generations, and they have him talking like that.
Yeah, so
I have no
it's,
idea.
It's a
I'm
real
just saying.
product of the time. Like,
Yeah.
this is before you can't make fun of anything, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, oh, you can't make fun of nothing, but
Yeah.
it was before people were like, hey, that's kind of messed up.
More critical of it. At
Yeah,
least.
yeah, more critical. Like, that's not cool. And you might have known it then when you heard it. Like, I never thought that a Chinese man or a Japanese man speaking broken English is funny. Like,
Yeah.
that was never.
I think some kids think that because it was a while back that literally everybody was just racist or hated everybody.
And everyone was cool with it.
Oh yeah,
Like, it didn't bother
Nobody
anyone.
said anything when somebody was being racist
Yeah.
ever. No, people hated it.
But this isn't through the eyes of a child. This is just straight slight racism. So
Yeah.
points off for that. But like I said, I'm not
if
Asian.
it was
so-
super funny, we could let him get away with it.
Well, like, there was a movie with a Asian man who like was like, "What's up, dog?" Like, he spoke because he was from the hood.
Yeah.
And that was really funny to me. But that wasn't like,
the old Asian lady from
oh yeah, like next Friday.
Friday,
Yeah,
yeah.
see that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But this just a broken English
Yeah,
Chinese
it's
kid,
lazy.
like,
it's lazy at least.
Yeah,
At
it's
the very
low-hanging
least,
fruit,
yeah,
right?
it's super lazy.
But anyway, he flying kicks her in the face. So he kind of takes over the second grade class, like, we search
In
for
charge.
weapons. Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
search for weapons, let's get out of here. But all they find are like crayons and those little safety scissors.
Oh, no.
So he's like, we're dead.
fucked.
Like, yeah, we're fucked. We're dead. So Bobby ends up busting back in the classroom to find all his friends.
Yeah.
Wendy, Lisa, Travis, Jerry, got it, and then Drew. And then so he
a lot
kind of
of
like
kids.
It is. But you know, it started off busy, but then you saw
You
it
lose
filter
and
out, and
lose
you're
and
like,
lose
okay,
and-
I see who the main characters are. So they end up getting out of the gymnasium, the auditorium, I guess, and they end up going to the gym, and they go into the locker room,
Oh,
and
damn.
the gay kid is like, they go into the 8th grade boys' locker room and they're all eating each other because they're all zombies. And he's like, "This is my fantasy ruined."
Ruined.
Right?
Oh, okay, ruined.
And they hear a scream, and they were the girls like, "That's from the girls' locker room." And they run into the girls' locker room, and they're like, "My fantasy is ruined now because it's a bunch of 8th grade girls all eating each other because they're all zombies."
Yeah, yeah.
So they both make a joke about like they've never been there.
Messed up.
This is my fantasy to be in here, and they're naked, but they're all eating each other. They're all zombies, and so they freak out. So they end up running into a like an equipment closet basically, and they end up getting a bunch of weapons. So it's pretty cool. They end up getting like bats, and Wendy, the little redheaded girl, she gets the those fencing swords.
Oh, yeah.
She ends up taking the cap and everything off. And, like, so she's just straight up got a sword.
That's cool.
So they march out and start just going to town on everything in the gym.
That's awesome.
They're stabbing them. And it's crazy because they're, like, killing, like, kids they know and teachers they know.
Yeah, these aren't random
And they're
people.
making jokes the whole time. Like, they are so casual about this.
They're very glib.
It's very funny to me, like, how they're watching someone get eaten. They're like, I can't help. Sorry,
That's
man.
where
like,
the comedy is supposed to be.
I think
coming
so,
from.
yeah. Like, it's obviously not super serious.
No,
and-
that's their intent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be goofy, and it is, man.
They achieved it.
I laughed. I
achieved
LOL'd quite a few times, in all honesty. Not just nose exhale.
Yeah.
Not. I actually lolled. So yeah, they're just going to town on all the zombies,
That's
and
awesome.
the Christian kid shows up, and
He's
they were
still
hiding
good?
in the.
He's still good?
Yeah, he's good.
Okay.
They were hiding in the dodgeball bassinet thing. And he pops out and he's like, "You're our savior. Like, God sent you to help us." Talking about Wendy with her sword. And as he's talking, a zombie walks up and he stabs him with this golden cross he carries. It's pretty rad. As he's preaching, he's like doing a verse about, if thine eye is evil, then you're full of evil, or whatever the hell it is. What is it? If your eye is evil, then your whole body shall be full of darkness. As he's doing it, he's stabbing zombies in the eye and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So anyway, the teacher, the second grade teacher, is eating some poor kid, and so Renee and Tucci end up getting out. They go out in the hall full of zombies. So they take off. Cuts back to our main group of kids, Bobby and all them.
Yeah.
And they come across this 7th grader who's in his underwear. And basically what he says is he was in the showers, about to take a shower, but he's like, "I don't like going in the shower because they're all weird and kind of."
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a
it sucks.
little fruity, and they grab
It
ass
sucks
and
in every
stuff.
way.
He's like, I just
None
don't
of
like
it's
that.
good, yeah.
So I was waiting for him to stop, and they were all playing around. The younger kids are in their locker room, and they're playing around. And then it just stops. He's like, it got quiet. Really weird quiet. The young kids were still playing, but they got super quiet.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, they started just munching and eating on each other. They started just tearing each other apart. So what they find out from this kid basically is he hasn't developed yet. He hasn't hit puberty yet. So basically any kid who has hit puberty and has smelled that purple flume, that purple smoke that's going around, or showered in it because it's now in the water, they turn into a zombie. So adults, anyone that's hit puberty turns into a zombie.
So the movie Cooties. Do you remember
Is that
movie?
the one with Elijah Wood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the exact same.
My wife and I were trying to think of it.
Cooties.
Dude, this is 2006, man.
Dude, that was
Cooties.
before. That was before. No, this is the
Oh,
comics
yeah, I was going to
way
say
before the
Recess Pieces. God, I say it so weird. Recess Pieces.
Recess Pieces.
Because you can't say recess.
You can't Reese's.
Recess Pieces.
Yeah, because it's Reese's Pieces
There's
is
no-
the candy.
there's
It's
no flow to that.
Recess Pieces.
Recess Pieces. So yeah, any kid that hasn't hit puberty yet is good. And as they're walking down the hall, this poor kid gets so nervous and he pops a chest hair and ends up getting a boner. It ends up turning like eventually. So
Yeah.
like he's right on the cusp of it. It just happened in the hallway, I guess, or something like.
Dude, that's funny.
But it's supposed to be.
I
Yeah,
like that.
it's funny. So like as he's walking, he freaks out, and so they're like, one chest hair. They're like, that's puberty.
Oh.
So they freak out.
Yeah.
And let me see where they are. They cut back to Travis because Travis took off randomly.
You said, yeah, I remember.
Said that
I
he
did,
went to
yeah,
go
yeah.
look for Renee.
Ran away.
So
yeah.
he ends up going to a room and he found one of those those paper cutters,
Oh,
those
that's what
slicers. And he gets his little cute pocket knife out and takes it out and starts carrying that around. And he gets attacked by a teacher and chops their hands off.
Dude, that's the only thing in like a school room that is like a big real weapon.
Oh, right.
It's usually just held on by one nut. So if you have a wrench, you could get that off.
Yeah, he pulls a little flat hat out of his little Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
That he's got.
That's amazing.
So, that's where he gets a boner, and they're talking about the chest hair, and they start freaking out. So they do run into another pack of zombies, a bunch of teachers. That guy's cut in half, so he's just like crawling around.
Oh, he's a crawler.
Yeah, he's a crawler. So it cuts back to Travis, who's been doing some work.
Oh, he looks tired.
Yeah, and he even says it like killing zombies is hungry work. He's like, this couldn't have happened after lunch.
It's very expressive.
But see what I mean? They're always making jokes. They're like a quippy like Marvel character. It's like the MCU.
Like Deadpool sometimes.
That's more like Deadpool, because they're not necessarily saying something funny all the time. They're just saying
talking,
shit.
Yeah.
So they're still hidden in that room. They started clearing the zombies out of, I guess, the gym. Yeah, they're still in the gym. Sorry. No. Forgive me. They ran into another classroom. They fought their way out of the gym, made their way into another classroom. I remember now they were making a statement about this is the only room in the school that doesn't lock. So they end up pushing a desk against one door. Apparently there's another door because Duffy, the bully, just runs in. And he had been bit a few times, and they're like trying to calm him down. And they're all like, man, he's bit. And they're like, oh, my heart bleeds. They really don't give a shit about Duffy because he's treated them all like shit. Like, Eddie asked him, do you have pubes yet? And Duffy just like flips out, starts trying to beat him up. And he ends up going to sit at a desk and laying down and just kind of passes out. So the Christian kid is freaking out. He's like, God has forsaken us. I mean, he's already flipped the page on that. He's like, he's not real. This is the rapture. He's abandoned us.
For sure. Yeah.
He's like, we're done. He drops a F word, and everyone's like, whoa. And he's got this little follower, this little girl. She barely does anything, but she's just like, calm down, really. That's all she's there for. So they end up another door. They're trying to block that when a bunch of zombies come in. And then Hanlon, the Boy Scout, he ends up finding the room, and he ends up busting in. Mm-hmm. So everyone's together now. Everyone, even Tushy and Renee.
Full group
No, they're not yet. Sorry, Travis is still looking for them. Forgive me. So this is the only real serious part is as Duffy turns, the boner kid turns, and he bites Jerry. Sorry, I keep forgetting that dude's name. He bites bites him in the head. So Jerry's dead. Which means he's not going to turn. He hasn't hit puberty. So any kid that got eaten is just dead.
Okay.
They don't turn because they haven't hit puberty yet. So they're all actually like crying. They're kind of freaking out. They bust out into the stairwell. They're trying to get down. They're trying to get out. They're crying. Like I said, it's really the only serious part. And then the Christian comes out. And he's spouting a bunch of stuff and yelling about God. And then he gets bit and torn to pieces. And she even says, where's your Messiah now?
Oh, who does?
Wendy.
Yeah, of course, Wendy. Yeah.
And, but she even brings it up later. She's like, I can't believe I quipped while he was dying.
Nah.
She's like, what's wrong with me?
Super meta.
And then she was like, I didn't even it wasn't even a good quip. Like, I can't believe I said that. So that's when Travis and all the second graders bust in. So Bobby's super happy because he just lost his best friend. He's super psyched to see Travis. So they're basically up against the rest of the zombies that have all like kind of got together in the hall. They're all after him. Hoarded up, yeah. All the teachers, all the 7th and 8th graders, anyone who's hit puberty. So just out of nowhere, an ATF van just busts through the wall. There's no explanation for it at all. It just drives through, and they're like freaking out. They're like, that was supposed to save us, but it's blocking the hole it's made. What are we going to do? I'm so tired. We need a miracle. Either the door pops open or just a bunch of guns fall out. So they're all strapped up.
That's how America works.
They're all strapped up now, and they just proceed to just blast everybody. The Boy Scout kid gets Duffy. He jumps in front of Bobby because Bobby was about to do it, and he just takes it. He's like,
nice.
Just cuts him in half. I mean, they're just blasting everyone. They're covered in blood, so they finally get to the front door. It's locked still because of the stupid principal.
Yeah,
and so they
from the
blast it off with the gun. And then the last shot is them standing outside of the school. And on top of the school, there's a little
purple
chimney.
vapor coming out.
There's purple smoke coming out of the chimney. So they were making comments about, like, we don't know if it's like this everywhere. And they're like, you know what? Fuck that, because if we'd still have a better chance out there than stuck in the school, which I kind of disagree. You got guns now. You could clear that whole place out.
True.
And as long as no one hits puberty in the midst of talking like that one kid did, you're good, right?
Damn.
Like, so I did enjoy it. I love that it ended.
It actually had an ending.
It had an ending.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
very satisfying.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's real nice. Especially after last week.
You've been deprived, yeah.
I have.
You've
And I
been
didn't get
getting
to
edged.
finish episode 4. I didn't finish Dave yet, so that's kind of left open.
Yeah.
Although that story did kind of end.
It has it wrapped up.
Yeah, it has a conclusion,
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
So not a complete ending, but still good enough to satisfy me.
Yeah.
But yeah, last week sucked, so that was just a bummer because that was a cool comic.
Yeah.
But this one was good, man. I thought the characters, the way they spoke to each other, despite the rough edges of it, it seemed like they knew each other. They hang out every day. They've spoke to each other every day. They
Real
know
best friends.
Yeah, so if you were to read it, man, you would get a lot more from it than what I told you.
Okay.
A lot more.
Yeah.
Because of how they speak, what they say, the
worth it to
constant
read it.
jokes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if y'all find it at the library like I did, just pick that up, go read it. It was fun. Very cool.
That's
like I
awesome.
said, the art was great.
I did like the art was very unique. If you can't say don't say anything else.
Yeah, right.
If that's it, the art itself was definitely worth checking.
Only
out.
points off for being super crass and racist. And,
Yeah.
But like I said, a product of the time, 2000. It was different, man. I mean, it was really different. And wasn't so, like you said, critical of that stuff.
Yeah.
And when it probably should have been, but it
In
wasn't.
some cases, definitely.
Yeah, it should have been. But it wasn't too much to handle. It wasn't like, oh my
It wasn't
God, this
overboard.
is... The thing that's
Nah.
crossing any line that would be crossed is watching these kids blast other kids they know and their teachers and stuff, which is just like they're just killing adults and stuff, and kids killing adults.
That's funny,
Didn't
right?
Didn't you? Don't you have a piece of paper that says "kid killing adults" around
That
here?
you just saw.
I
a
did.
minute
I
ago.
thought so.
Yeah,
That's funny. That's what my comic
it's
was
gonna
about.
come up very soon.
So, dude, I would be down to read more if these
Yeah.
kids just set out and like the purple smoke started getting. So my wife immediately asked, "What happens when they hit puberty?" So is it Walking Dead style where you already have it?
It's there.
It's there. So as soon as you hit puberty, your first boner, you don't even get to beat it. You turn into a zombie.
Instantly. Or does the purple gas have to be around?
That's what I'm curious. So, but they were in there with the purple gas.
Yeah, that's what I
Is
mean.
it just immediate? Does it sit in you? Or
yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? So they could go any route with this once they get outside that school in the next paperback, if they ever made one.
Right.
You know, they could go anywhere with it.
So
like-
here's my pitch for it. They walk out of the school, purple
Right.
smoke everywhere. They get 2 blocks down. They see like a military convoy like going parallel to them. They go, "Oh, help, please help us." And they start running towards it. And then they get smashed by a semi truck. All of them.
All the kids?
All the kids. Everyone that was survived from the first one gets smashed by a semi truck. And then an old trucker lady gets out and goes, "Oh my God." And then she's the main character from now on. It's a totally different characters, but
And
in
then-
the same world.
And then 3 issues later, she gets shot by a sniper, and now he's
the main character.
He's the main character.
I'm glad you figured it out already.
And they're in space by this point, so it has nothing
Yeah.
to do. Even
I didn't
more
think I
so.
had to say that
Oh
part.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, we definitely got to go to space.
Obviously.
And then you know where after, right? Feudal Japan.
Oh, makes. I don't know why I didn't instantly say it, but
right?
yeah.
Every
feudal Japan.
third you got to go to
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah. I like that rule, honestly.
Yeah, right. Those are the best ones. The third ones are
The
always
third
the
ones
best.
are always the best.
Always Godfather, X-Men,
Yeah.
both trilogies.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yep, where they went to Japan.
Yeah.
Right? That was that one?
That was
yeah.
that one. Yeah. The Three Ninjas. You said that one.
No, I didn't, but Three Ninjas
They
they
go to
did.
Japan. Yeah.
Wait, yeah, the third one, right?
Third one, I'm pretty sure.
Which one was the one where
Or
they
maybe
went
it was
to
the second one.
No,
No, the
'cause-
second one was like almost an exact repeat of the first one, right?
Man.
It was so close.
No, the first one was the robbers. The second one was
at their grandpa's house.
Kickback. Yeah, I
It
think
was at their like grandpa's house.
I think the grandpa's
third one
house
wasn't in Japan. Third one was in the. Oh, maybe it was the
No,
third
it was
one.
Japan.
You're right.
Because then the fourth one was
in
the stupid
park.
theme park.
Theme park,
with Hulk
exactly.
Hogan.
Yep.
Terrible.
Oh my god.
Terrible. But the third one, best
of
one.
One of the, yeah, obviously. All right. Yeah, so I got J, and every time I get a letter, I kind of in my mind picture what the section will look like.
Like
up
the
at half
the
price.
main issue of
the main things that are going to be
Yeah.
in it. And I was like, crap, it's going to be 800 Justice Leagues.
Yep.
And you know what? There were like 800 Justice Leagues. It's no surprise. It was exactly like I thought it was going to be. So I went digging through everything besides Justice League. There was a cool black and white one. I wish I would written it down, and I hope it's there when I go back because it was cheap and it looked really cool. It's just very wordy. I didn't grab it because it was extremely wordy, and I didn't want.
I avoid those too.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't want to create more work for myself, so I didn't do that one, and I'm looking Justice League, and then I see Justice League Dark,
Nice.
which I've seen the animated movies,
Which are sweet.
amazing. DC animated movies are amazing.
They got that on lock. They're like Marvel ain't got shit on the animated,
Nope.
dude.
They 100%.
Not really. What if maybe?
They need
but-
to lean into it. Is what they need to do.
Yeah, seriously.
They're not doing great in the live action. Excel where you're already doing good.
Yeah, double down. I want more of those.
Yeah,
You could have multiple universes going at
Put
once.
more effort into them. Promote them more.
Yeah.
Because if you're not like a comic
Yeah, no one
person,
knows.
you don't know that stuff's coming out.
Yeah, I would go to Target and just see a new one and be like, oh shit, what is this?
Randomly, yeah.
Then I found out it's all the new 52 universe,
Yep.
which is what.
Yeah,
because
so-
this is the team or some of the team members that are in the movies.
Yeah.
Because
some of
it's
them.
the movie's new 52, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I found Justice
know
League
shit.
Dark. I like I said, I'm only tangentially aware of Justice League Dark. Wasn't super into it, but I was like, perfect. Because the point is to read something that we possibly haven't read before and bring it to you and explain it and say if it's good or not.
I have read some Justice League Dark.
Yeah.
Not this one, though.
You mentioned that. Yeah,
Yeah.
And so this, when did it come out? I wrote it down. It was released in the actual comic books themselves, like the individual issues came out from 2000 to 2012, I believe.
Damn.
Yeah. And the writer is Peter Milligan through the whole thing, and the artist is Michael Janin, and it's spelled Mikeljanin.
Mikhail.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I spelled it. Yeah. So, like I said, comics came out a lot 2011, 2012. So it's been a little while, 11 years. Or
Oh, I
whatever.
thought you said 2000 to 2012. I was
No,
like, damn, they took their
2011
time.
to 2012.
They do like 2 a year.
Yeah. So real quick, pretty much all the characters in this are at least semi well known. There's a couple in here that I had actually never ever heard of, and that's cool. I always like that. I think
Yeah.
I've mentioned that before. So one of the main people that's very critical and important to the story is Madame Xanadu, and I don't know if she's a mutant or what, but she can like see the future. She can use like tarot cards and like visions to kind of get a bunch of futures, a bunch of possible futures.
Okay.
And so she's trying to,
That's convenient.
yeah, well, kind of, because she doesn't
yeah.
know which ones it's going to be. So she just tries to do things that will affect the future. That's what her deal is.
Right.
She's trying to like fix shit in the future, basically.
She's like always checking,
Yeah.
like constantly.
Yeah.
They're like, "Do you want a hot dog or a pizza?" And they're like, "She's like, shit, hold on."
So Madame Xanadu, and then whenever they introduced this character, at first I recognized the name June Moon. At first I was like, where do I recognize that name from? And that's the human part of Enchantress,
Yep.
the villainess Enchantress. So they introduced her, and then one of the characters that I had never, ever, ever heard of was called Shade the Changing Man. ever.
I've never heard of Shade either.
Yeah, so I'm not super into DC as well as other stuff, so I had never heard of him. He has a thing called the Meta Vest, which is literally like a metal strappy things that like are kind of in his body, like kind of mushed into his skin. It looks like you can't pull it out. It looks like it's part of his body.
Gross.
It's called the Meta Vest. And that's where he gets any of his powers. He doesn't have any like natural powers himself.
They all come from his vest?
They come from this weird like alien
He's
vest.
a human? Like a regular dude?
He's like
Okay.
a dude. He's got the Meta Vest. He can like affect reality around himself in very limited ways. And he also can make like a force field around him. And he was first introduced in 1977 by Ditko.
Damn.
So that I was like, whoa.
Shows how much we don't read DC.
Exactly. I was like, this is a new character. That's why I've never heard of him.
It's from the 70s.
It's from that's why I wrote that down, because I know it does. I never worry about the year, but that was crucial. How would I never heard of him?
I mean,
Okay.
DC though, they like restart their shit every couple years.
That's
and like,
so that's funny you say that. So actually, this character was revamped in 1990 by Peter Milligan, the writer of this comic.
Yeah.
So in 90, he updated it from the 77 Ditko version to his version, which is this version that we see now.
Okay.
In the comic. So in 1990, the author of the actual comic we're reading revamped this character. So this is like his baby. Is that what I'm getting at?
okay.
This is like
and he's way more badass now than he probably was in the 70s.
And crucial to the story. He's like one of the main characters.
I love it when they do that.
And one of the main characters. It's cool. And then they show Enchantress. Then we get to see Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg.
Who are they? Go into there. Tell me about them real quick.
What do they do? Constantine.
Cool.
Dove. Like from Hawk and Dove.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Deadman.
Yeah, I like Deadman.
And the last character that I did not know and I didn't know anything about, Mind Warp. His name's Jay Young. You ever heard of Mind Warp?
No.
He's a gnarly character.
Yeah?
Like, this comic's kind of dark in some ways.
Yeah, no, when I read the other one, I was like, holy shit.
They did stuff I didn't think they were
And
going
also
to.
the Constantine comics are real dark.
Yeah.
Like, really raw.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of gross.
So that's just like a real quick rundown of all the characters.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
I'm going to save explaining Mind Warp till I get to his part.
Yeah.
So
do that.
Let me just hop into like a quick kind of general overview of the story.
I'm sure it's convoluted as shit, isn't it?
Not as bad as it could be. They didn't go.
Kudos DC
I
for holding back.
I wasn't put off by it. I'll say that.
No, the other one I read was like, Jesus, what? Hold on, rewind. What?
So
should I know this person? What is this?
Oh, that's So luckily with the big comics, at least you can remember characters' names because they're super famous and have been around for a million years.
And this is number one.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the
Of
very
the new
beginning.
52. Yeah.
Well, this is Justice League. This is the only Justice League Dark.
Yeah.
This is the very first one.
Yes, exactly. So the comic opens up with June Moon, kind of wandering around, being
slutty.
like concussed.
Oh, sorry.
She's acting like really very concussed, confused, and whatnot.
Okay.
So she's wandering around. She's trying to get help. Blah blah. Blah. Big demon pops up.
She's drunk.
Scares her. She runs away. She's in a diner, kind of hanging out, asking for help. And on the TV, there's a bunch of women on the freeway getting run over by cars. And everybody at the diner is focusing on the TV because there's literally a live feed of like 40 women being actively run over on the freeway. And they do a close-up on the lady.
Protesting or something?
No, so they do a close-up on the lady, one of the ladies that hasn't gotten run over, and it's June Moon. So the one of the kids goes, "That's the lady right here. That's one of the weird ladies right here." So June sees all these other June Moons out there getting run over by getting run over on the freeway. So there's a bunch of June Moons everywhere, a whole bunch of copies of June Moon, just kind of getting murked,
run over,
just straight up getting murked. Then we run into Metavest Man. He
It's okay. I have my vest.
Shade. He goes Shade, the changing man. So you kind
That's
of
the vest guy.
yeah,
Shade. Okay.
Yeah, you get introduced to him. He's weird. He can warp reality, like I said, and he like conjures his dead girlfriend. I'm pretty sure. And they're like in from bed. No, they were laying in bed.
Oh.
So that's cool.
He's fucking ghost.
And then we finally get introduced to Enchantress. We see what's kind of going on with all the June moons and stuff. So this is Enchantress without June moon, meaning just the witch part of her,
Right,
just
right.
like the evil, mean,
She's separated
crazy,
somewhere.
a psychic part of her. She's actually, I'll describe it. She's in an envelope in a barn. So she's in like her own reality. They kind of explain it. She's in like her own reality in this envelope.
Oh, literally an envelope.
Yeah.
Just sitting on a table.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's kind of weird. So they say I'll start naming some of the
DC.
stuff that's happening. So one of the things is a neighboring town, a shower of books written in a dead language killed 6 people. So they're just all these giant books, not giant, big books falling from the sky, killing people. A few farms over, 2 cows gave birth to mechanical meat slicers. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
And then probably the funniest one is the local power station threatens to explode when it is imbued with consciousness and gets bored. So it got bored and wanted to kill itself.
So I really like this about when there's magic involved or demons, where it's always weird.
Yeah. The
It's
mechanical
never-
meat slicer? Yeah.
Yeah, it's never
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna destroy a bridge. It's weird stuff like. It's cool.
Yeah.
I really like it.
That's like half of an issue in that's scene happens or whatever with the mechanical meat. I was hooked at that point. This is more up my alley than I thought it was going to be.
I chose well.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's why I read Dark, because I was like, I think I'm gonna I like Constantine. I like all that weird shit, so I might as well check it. And it's very strange.
It is. It's strange enough for sure. And then like a big showdown happens. Everybody knows what's happening with Enchantress, so the superheroes are trying to go stop her. So it's Cyborg, Superman, and Wonder Woman roll up on Enchantress. So you're like, oh damn, they're just gonna like wipe the floor with Enchantress.
She's
real quick.
in the envelope.
Yeah,
though?
yeah, but she's like aware. So they show up and she pops up instantly. So like she was not unaware, hiding in the envelope.
Okay.
And she sends a swarm, just like the biggest swarm you've ever seen of teeth, literal teeth. And it starts swarming over Cyborg and Wonder Woman and Superman. And Superman starts getting cut up. Actually starts bleeding kind of bad.
Are they in the barn or are they in the envelope?
Outside. They're outside.
Okay.
of
So
the
she's
barn.
out and doing this.
Yeah. So he starts getting messed up. Superman starts bleeding. And
Oh,
Wonder
he's-
Woman notices and starts commenting, but it's because he's weak to magic.
Yeah, he's weak to magic.
So like if people don't know, it's
see.
been a long-term thing. Superman's been weak to magic. That's one of his like
Gotta have something.
defining features. So as all this is going down, Batman and Zatanna are kind of chilling, watching, because Batman was like, I can't fight Enchantress.
Right.
So he just kind of chilled back. They're talking about what's going on, how Superman and them had to retreat. They left. They were getting
Oh,
whooped.
damn.
So they had to run. And then we hop over to Constantine. Oh, he's doing crazy stuff, just portaling in somewhere. That's funny. And then we run into Dove and Deadman, who
Yeah.
are like a couple.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, so like
How's she see him?
yeah, so that's the weird part. He can let people in this continuity, they can just see him when he's a ghost.
Well, I guess some of the magic people can. Yeah, because Zatanna, whatever.
It
John
used to be
can
only
see him.
some people was, but for whatever reason, it seems like he can let everyone see him.
Weird.
Yeah,
I
he doesn't
remember
have to
Batman-
possess. He didn't
Batman
have to
couldn't see
possess.
him.
Yeah, he didn't have to possess anybody. He just could be seen.
Weird. Okay.
Yeah.
This is different. This one.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's cool.
oh yeah. So we run into them, we meet those characters, and then we find out that Shade is working basically for Madame Xanadu. So Madame Xanadu hits up Shade, says something needs to change. The future's gonna suck. I need you to go change it. So that's Shade's kind of whole deal. But this time she says you need to get a team. Like you can't do what we need to do by yourself. So you need to get a team. So she tells him you need to get all these she just tells him the list of characters.
You need the Justice League Dark.
Yeah. Like titular line.
Who's that? Well,
the Justice League Dark. So she's like, you got to assemble a team. So the rest of the comic is him assembling the team, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, basically.
Holy shit.
So this is the first one. So they're like...
But it's like issues 1 through 5?
Yeah. So it's the, first trade paperback or whatever. So it's, the opening. And this is New 52. So this is supposed to be for new readers and stuff for the most part. So, they need to do like a montage. They have to do a gathering the team montage, basically.
Well, yeah, because they've never, like, apparently because it's New 52, they've never met each other necessarily or anything.
Yeah.
And like Superman's only been around for a little while.
It's like 10 years or something.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But then they do stuff in Batman comics where he's referencing like the Killing Joke and shit. Yeah. And it's like, pick a lane, DC. Do you want new continuity or not? Yeah. And they're like, no, this still happened.
Both ways.
Well, fuck you.
They want it both ways.
Yeah. Because they reference something with Constantine that happened in the Hellblazer comics in Justice League Dark. And I'm like, wait, that happened too?
Yeah. It's weird.
Where his continuity is still intact, but Batman's only slightly is. Certain parts of it, that's
they pick
weird.
And choose.
Yeah, they do.
So,
but it makes sense for New 52, just trying to, especially for a team like this, which has never been together.
Exactly.
So
it's brand new, basically.
They might be in each other's comics, but probably not.
They all know of each other, basically.
Like same circles.
Yeah, but they're not necessarily like together in comics.
Creepy, weird wizards.
So, like I said, this is kind of like an introduction to everybody. So we run into a few pages of Dove and Deadman, Boston. And backstory, basically. So you see the problems they're having. Deadman is like a ghost. He can only touch people or do stuff usually by possessing a human.
Right.
So they can't kiss. You know what I mean? Like, he's a ghost. Unless he gets into a body of somebody else, they can't kiss. So that's what they start talking about. Like, their backstory is the dilemma where he runs up to her in another man's body and goes, "Hey, baby, let's go home." She's like, "No, that's fucked up.
That's great."
Yeah. And he was like, "No, we're gonna, whatever. I love you. This is the only way. I'm frustrated." Yeah. She's like, "I'm frustrated too." Blah blah blah. So they're sitting there arguing, and a lady comes up and starts smacking the guy and goes, "You said you were going to change. You said you wouldn't do this again." So she goes,
he's getting homeboy in trouble.
You're married. And he goes, Dove goes, "Well, I didn't see a ring." He goes, "Well, I actually took it off." So he was, that
was Boston saying that.
Yeah, Boston chose
to
take it off. So Dove tries to calm the lady, and it actually works. And he goes, "I'm going to take her home." And she goes, "You're going to take her home?" He goes, "That's not what I mean, blah, blah, blah." So they leave after a fight, come back, they argue about it. He's like, "Of course I didn't do anything with her," whatever. So you get to see their, like, marital drama, basically.
Right.
So you start to, like, it's supposed to make you care about the characters and, like, whatever, you know what I mean? So then we run into Constantine. He's doing Constantine shit, literally, doing a bunch of spells and stuff. He knows something's going on with Enchantress or something, but he doesn't know exactly what.
Yeah, he always like that, man. He always got a sense of something.
He's got a nose for danger, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, June Moon shows up at, I guess I'd say June Moon Prime, shows up at Boston and Dove's apartment. And it's like, "I need help." So she needs Boston to go into her so he can see what's going on with her brain, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So cool. you run into that. He does that for her. He kind of finds out what's going on. Dove leaves because she's upset with Boston. And as she's leaving, her car kind of gets, like, taken over and starts, like, chanting some crazy stuff.
The car does?
Yeah, literally, like, the radio it's coming out, a crazy voice comes out of the radio.
The hood is, like, popping open.
Hey. Like Herbie.
Yeah.
So crazy shit's kind of starting to happen to everybody now.
Right.
Basically.
So it's citywide or however big this is. It's happening everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So Zatanna shows up to a spot. She gets attacked by Enchantress. Blah blah blah. And now this is where people start coming together. So
Finally.
Constantine runs into Zatanna.
Mm-hmm.
They do some tantric.
Love making.
No, tantric meditation. Mystic coupling of Shakti and Shiva.
It sounds like sex to me.
I know it does. It looks like what you do before. But so they run into
Or
each other.
after.
They start talking to each other about the darkness, what's going on, what's happening. I'm magic, you're magic. Let's handle this magic shit together, type
Right.
of thing. And so all of a sudden, as they're kind of hanging out, I'm sorry, as Boston and June Moon are hanging out, all of a sudden sparkles and portals pop up right next to him. And to June Moon's credit, she instantly was like, "It's Enchantress. She's here to kill me. I need it, or take me back." Is actually what she wants. She wants to take her back. She goes, "She's here to take me back," and runs away. And it's actually just the Shade, the Changing Man, popping a portal up to ask Boston to come. So after June runs away, the portal's like, "Hey Boston, I need you to come here, hop in the portal, whatever." So that's not what happens. June Moon decides to jump off the balcony and kill herself instead of being reunited with Enchantress, which she thought was what was about to happen.
Right.
So as she's falling,
So she's freaked out about Enchantress.
it's bad.
So why does Enchantress want her?
Because they complete each other, basically, is kind of how she describes
So
it.
when Enchantress did exist before June Moon,
Yeah, they're like two separate things.
was
But-
it like the movie where it's the jar thing, or she's an old god, or what?
So it's something similar
Okay.
because it is like two things.
So she needs her for some
For
reason.
some reason, yeah,
She
yeah.
seemed powerful enough coming out of that envelope and shit.
She was
like-
ugly as hell though, so maybe it was literally like she didn't want to be ugly anymore. I don't know.
Oh,
But
she wants to be hot like June.
yeah, as June jumps out, of course Boston hops. Dead Man grabs her, does his gymnast act, which is what he was doing before he was
It's
dead.
the exact same story of Nightwing.
Yeah.
Except
Yes.
he died.
He got shot as he was up on the line.
shot.
He got shot as he was up on the
Someone
line.
stood up during an acrobat. That seems difficult. You better be a good fucking shot.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to shoot an acrobat? He's doing like
Yeah.
8 flips in the air, and you're trying
on
to
a high
shoot
wire.
him.
You could just push him.
Yeah, or
like
wait till
wind blows.
Wait till he comes down and is changing in the back,
Yeah.
and then shoot.
Something normal. Just normal.
I'm gonna shoot him while he's in the air. Wait, why? What? No. What if you miss?
So,
Batman's gonna kick the shit out of you.
Shade Metavest Man is running around trying to find...
Vestman.
Yeah, trying to find all these characters that Xanadu told him to find.
Oh, so she said go find
your
specifically
team.
them.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So as he's kind of chilling, he conjures his girl again, except this time she looks like a monster, and like she's like, "You still want it? You still like it?" And he's like, "I do." He does like it, and he's like, "But he needs her so bad or whatever. That's why."
Yeah.
And so
It's love,
Yeah,
not lust.
exactly. She looks like a literal monster, but so he's like getting tormented by Enchantress basically. So he was already a tormented dude, but she was using her power to make his chick all monstery.
Oh,
and
so she's doing
she's
that.
doing all this
Damn,
crazy
that's
stuff,
rough.
affecting it like everybody.
Everyone, everywhere too, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So let me get my notes on this next character. All right, his name
Mind Warp?
Yeah, his Mind Warp. Definitely had never heard of him. I forgot to look up when he was created. Not sure. But his name is Mind Warp. His actual name is Jay Young. He has like astral projection. He goes into like he goes into a seizure, and he calls it his seizure soul. And he can like astral project with his soul out of his body while he's having a seizure. So we're not supposed to do it for a long time because he's literally having a seizure to do his power.
Okay.
So he calls it his seizure soul.
So he could leave his body, and Dead Man could jump in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got
So the cool thing
it.
was
2012, Justice League Dark #3.
Oh, okay. So he was created by Peter Milligan,
Yep. And
another
Brian
character.
Buccellato.
Yeah, and another character created by the author of this.
Damn, Peter killing it with the
Yeah.
magic stuff.
Just making up people
He's
all the
probably done
time.
a lot more that we just don't know
Oh,
about.
100% he has. So I even had this part saved. So we're introduced to Mind Warp. He's a real nice guy. That's for sure. He introduced him in a hotel bathroom. He does his seizure thing, runs into a hotel room and starts just murking people. He's saying that it's like a arms dealer or something. So he's murking them. He's taking out the bad guy, right? He's doing like superhero stuff. And then the guy's fiance is on the bed. She sees this like astral projection ghost guy and goes, "Get out of here! I'll kill you." And he goes, "Well, you can't. That won't hurt me." And he goes, "So I can do whatever I want." And she goes, "What?" And he goes, "What do you think I'm gonna do?" And then he starts to go towards her, and Metavest Shade pops up, luckily at the last second, and stops him from proceeding over to the bed. Who knows what was going to happen?
Yeah, what was he about to do?
implied some terrible, terrible things multiple times. And that's the part I wanted to say. She said, okay, here he goes. "I can do what I like and get away with it. There's no judge, no God who will punish me. A Christian saint rots in the same oblivion as the foulest Nazi killer." So he's just like, I can do whatever I want because
damn, that's pretty raw right there. It kind of scared me.
As like they introduced him on the one page, he was like a crass dude, but then he's like, "Oh, he's taking out the bad guys. That's cool." And then the next page, he's essaying or about to essay somebody.
Possibly.
He
could have just killed her.
He was the one that implied it.
He could have been looking for change in her sofa.
In her soul or
was
something.
like, in her soul. I mean, the sofa, the couch cushions.
Couch cushions. Right. So that's cool.
This ain't my room.
So they, arguing and whatnot. We run into back into Boston, Deadman and June Moon, and they get assaulted by Enchantress. So I was like, oh damn, there's like a whole comic left, and Enchantress just popped up like in person. So he hops into Enchantress immediately. Deadman does, and then pops right out of her and just completely annihilates her like instantly. And I was like, what?
Oh, he explodes out from
of
inside
her body.
of her. That's crazy.
But it was just an empty vessel. And it was just like a fake one.
You ain't getting rid of Enchantress like that.
So I was like, oh, okay, that's
still
why.
pretty damn cool.
So then we go back to Dove.
She looks kind of cool right there.
In this one, she does look kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
So she comes back to the apartment that her and Boston share, and Constantine's hanging out, pulling a Rorschach, eating cold beans out of a can, literally.
Nice.
Yeah, so she doesn't know.
I was going to make a joke about him eating cold beans.
They did it for you.
Yeah.
So,
thanks, Peter.
She doesn't know him, actually, and he doesn't actually know her. Which is, because like I said, New 52.
Yep.
So they kind of start discussing what's going on. He mentions June Moon, and she's like, "How do you know June Moon?" And he's like, "Well, she's in super bad trouble, whatever." And so she's like, "Oh, we're going to have to work together." So then we hop back to Mind Warp and Shade, and they're fighting about him letting him do whatever he wants. And then also, like that actually is some of the words he says. And then he says, "I need your help. I need you to come work with me." Mm-hmm. And then he's like, "I'm not a team player. I'm an individual." He actually, those were his exact words.
Good argument.
Yeah, very cheesy. So they just argue about how they hate each other, blah, 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 blah. And then he just disappears. He leaves.
Mind Warp does?
Yeah, just boop, back to his body, and then left.
Which was like one hotel room over.
Yeah. Well, he was in the bathroom downstairs of the hotel. Okay. Whatever. He was close. He
Still
has to be close.
Yeah.
And
so you can't hop on a plane and fly to freaking Paris.
So I didn't know I was going to say this, but I'm going to, because what was I saying about the mind warp and whatnot? What was I going to say about that? I was just he tries to use sympathy. Sorry, he's like, "You're making me not be able to go back to my seizure body," because they were like fighting and arguing. Him and Shade were, and he goes, "You're trying to kill me. You know that if I don't get back to my body soon, I'm gonna die." And he was, literally about to kill the other guy. They're fighting.
Yeah.
And he tries to argue.
He's also about to kill that woman.
Yeah, and so he starts arguing about how Shade is being unreasonable and being the bad guy. I thought that was really interesting, that they really showed what kind of guy he was.
Right.
Like, they showed on all levels that he was really a piece of shit. So after that, immediately we come to my favorite page in the whole comic. So now Enchantress is like reaching out and really making her presence felt. She makes a bunch more fake June moons and a bunch more of her fake bodies, and then also bewitches children to murder their parents and caregivers.
Ooh.
So you in the
Naughty.
page, it's just like I don't know, like a kindergarten or elementary school parking lot or playground with a bunch of dead adults and kids with like safety scissors.
How do we
and-
pick two comics
Yeah.
where kids
That's
kill
why-
adults?
that's
Is
why-
that why you have that written on that
Yeah,
paper?
yeah, yeah. I label mine. Yeah,
That's your bookmark for
Yeah.
that spot?
Yep.
That's why it's written.
Yeah, because that was the only part, and also that there was a bunch of the June
And it
moons.
says "and June Moon."
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
I was curious why it said
Yeah.
kids killing adults. Band name, kids killing adults.
All right, so at this point, I think the real June Moon gets. Oh no, not yet. So you see Enchantress trying to find the real June Moon. Zatanna finally shows up. Starts at the farmhouse where Enchantress actually is. Zatanna shows up, starts trying to fight all the Enchantresses, blah, blah, blah. She gets overwhelmed, like, immediately.
Starts talking
so
backwards.
Shade pops up out of nowhere and saves her, teleports her out. And,
With my vest. Sorry.
and now we got Constantine shows up to Xanadu and is like, what are you doing? Like, why did you tell us to do this, blah, blah, blah. So you kind of find out that Xanadu, like, wanted them to die, basically, was the point of sending them to fight her or whatever. And it was like to end everything or something. It was that's like the twist.
So
or
she was
whatever.
trying to get all of them together so Enchantress
so the
would
bad
murder
thing
her.
would happen. Yeah, exactly. So that's like the kind of like the twist that we find out.
So
whatever.
what did she see? A future where they all didn't exist? And
They don't even explain it. The only thing they show is that all them dead, and that was like the only thing they showed because it was like, oh, this is what she's trying to avoid.
I wonder if there's like kind of like the Force with the Siths in the old Republic shit, where it's like if all these wizards and witches or magicians die, is there like a magical force that she would get?
Right.
Because they kind of deal with that in another Justice League Dark. So I wonder if like you were to continue this, if you would learn that possibly. They're like, oh yeah, if Constantine and Zatanna and all them die, I get more powerful because there's no other wizards around or magicians around that would take it except Dr. Fate, Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing.
There's a bunch. There's a lot. There's a whole lot.
There is.
Bobo.
So it's like wrapping up.
Okay.
It's like the end, basically wrapping up. And it's cool. They do one page where they show kind of what's happening everywhere, the crazy magic stuff that's happening everywhere. So one person they show is Resurrection Man, which I never actually heard of him before.
Of him, yeah.
So I wrote that down. And then Frankenstein, Agents of Shade, Frankenstein and the Agents of Shade, and Animal Man. All around the world trying to deal with all the crazy Enchantress stuff.
Just clones of June Moon, or just crazy things like the
everything crazy is happening.
meat slicers.
So the reason there was all those June Moons was they were searching for the real June Moon. So in other places there was the kids killing the adults,
Right.
and just mayhem like that, basically crazy mayhem like that. So they kind of
mayhem.
I guess June like kind of like it doesn't matter. They wrap it up with Enchantress. It's silly. I guess June kind of reunites with her or something to like appease her.
It's never
or
a punch
whatever.
up. It's always something
something
crazy,
else.
drastic magic power or something like that.
Right, and
They talk it out.
So at the end, they're like, "Hey, Madam Xanadu, what the f is going on?" So they kind of confront Xanadu, and they kind of explain what's going on a little bit here and there, but it's like a very like soft wrap up. There was no like you said, no giant punch up,
Yeah.
no crazy thing happened. So they're just kind of like all hanging out, kind of like wrapping up business, basically. Like
Posing.
yeah, like talking to Xanadu about what'd you do, blah blah blah, and Constantine is messing with Xanadu, blah blah blah. So the very end is cool.
Ooh, what's
They
that?
kind of show up. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. At the very end, they kind of show up in like a hell world, and that's like the cliffhanger. Is like he shows up in like the worst timeline, basically, and it looks like literal hell.
That's London on
London
fire.
on fire, exactly.
Like really on fire.
Yeah.
Is it old or new? It looks kind of old.
Well, that's cathedrals and stuff. So, but I mean that's big.
Is that a
thing.
dragon? Those are
There's
dragons.
a bunch of dragons flying through.
Okay,
the
so
sky.
they all got just transported somehow, somewhere?
Yeah, for a second, and then they get transported back.
So like I said, convoluted.
It's ridiculous.
DC,
That's what I
so
meant. Like it's like weird.
They'll do something and then they'll explain it later, and you will be reading it like, wait, what? Did I miss something? Did someone
Right.
say something about this?
Yeah.
So yeah, I get it.
So yeah, that's kind of the weird.
So what are they doing there? What is all that about?
This is the very end Xanadu stuff. Who is this? More nightmares.
And they're still fighting Xanadu, or they're just chatting?
No, they're kind of talking to
See
her.
what? Like that's so weird.
It's
Like there's not really a bad
Big-
guy either.
Big
There was,
monster popped up, and it's like
so it does end in a punch up.
nightmares. yeah. The very end is a punch up, and then is it Shade? I think Shade teleports the monster away. The end.
Okay.
And it's wrapped up, but it was cool. It was really cool. The very last panel says, "Cain, the sire of them all, has arisen." So it's gonna be vampires. I guess would be next.
See, dude, I wonder what I read then, because I read, I guess, pretty far after this.
It
I wonder
had to have been, yeah.
how far Justice League Dark actually went, because I read stuff. It was like Wonder Woman was possessed by Hecate and all this stuff. Mr. Bobo had a bar that was in between dimensions and shit, like where all the magicians went to drink and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, that was definitely further down the line. At
So
least.
there's not some over. See, it normally would end with like some overarching, like, you know, oh, I'm still a bad guy. You know, Xanadu, like, ooh, I'm still
around.
still part of my plan.
right.
But seems like it was just like, hey, that's it. Like, oh, Cain. Sorry,
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just fucking. I'm an
Yeah.
idiot. But he got introduced on the very last panel. It wasn't like they didn't introduce it at all. You know, there wasn't some big, oh, well, watch out for this guy. He may show up.
Yeah,
Type thing,
It
you
was
know?
that little tiny Cain.
It was
thing
very
at the
personal with Enchantress and Xanadu, like, just us.
end. So I wish it was slightly smaller. There was smaller stakes on this one instead of the whole world being affected
Right.
by it. If it had been that town that her farm was
That
in,
would've been cool.
and everybody just had to go to that town, and it's just a town. That's why well, Justice League did show up first.
Right.
Regular Justice League showed
Superman
up,
got his ass
couldn't do
kicked.
anything about it, and so that's the stakes. The stakes are that this person's super powerful,
Right.
and they can whoop people. You know what I mean? You didn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like the Sky Laser problem, where they were like, "Yeah, it's the whole planet, all reality, everything.
Everything, yeah.
Everything. It envelops all."
Yeah, you know, that bothers me a lot about like even new Star Wars movies, where it's like, stop making it so like world ending. Like, we don't need another Death Star. We don't need another Doomsday to
Yeah.
like, you know, just make it smaller stakes, make it about this, localize it. You know, like you said, they have to get together. That would make sense. They have to get together to do something, like you said, smaller stakes.
Yep.
So then they've made the team.
Yeah.
So the next issue, it's a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And then, because the one I did was like universe ending shit, and not just universe, like all of them.
Yeah.
Because some ancient entity was awakened and was able to come out into the world that was never allowed to before. And he's just messing everything up. So, like, it does get big, and they always seem to have to make it into the world When it's like,
Yeah.
just, I like the idea, like you said, most of it is them getting the team together. I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially when they're in together at the end, you're like, all right, I know this next one's going to be crazy. I've already gone through this, you know.
Oh, and I know I was rambling and terrible explaining the end. I did not do that well, but at the end, Mind Warp shows up. That was
I
something
thought I saw that. That's why I was like, what's going
that
on
was
there?
like the one thing I wanted to say that I missed. He did end up showing up. He was like, no, I'm not going to help y'all. And then, like,
He left again.
MacGuffin, I'm here. And, like, shows up at the exact moment they needed him to.
Okay.
And it ends up saving the day. So.
Okay. So
was cool.
He ex machina then.
Yeah, so I'm guessing in the future, that's probably how they'll use him again. He won't. He's like, I'm not a team player, obviously, and he'll show up when it's super important. So
No, right.
I didn't do any
It's
research.
the century problem.
I didn't read anything further, so I have zero idea about it. But
So Mind
that's my
Warp would
guess.
probably just fuck Superman up too.
It seemed like Superman wouldn't be able to hurt Mind Warp. Is the
Damn.
better way of saying
So
it.
he's hardcore.
So I don't know if
That's-
Mind Warp would really even be able to mess up Superman that
Oh,
bad.
he couldn't hurt him.
I don't
maybe.
know. Yeah, but I know he would.
It depends on how he uses his magic, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's like, it's seizure. Dude, it's so weird.
Oh yeah, so his astral form was killing and fighting.
It was. It could interact with the regular world. Like I
So
said,
if
he
it's- It's magic.
said he might assault that lady. So like,
Right. So
yeah.
he probably could punch Superman, and if it's pure magic, he probably would hurt him.
Yeah.
But if he hits hard, but okay, is it like Kryptonite? Is Superman like a regular dude when it comes to magic?
Right.
Or he's still
it's
a monster?
tough. Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean, Enchantress hurt him with teeth.
Wonder Woman. That's what I was gonna say. Wonder Woman didn't seem like she got messed up though, because she's a magic.
She's
person.
always just having fun.
She's like a
she's
magic.
Like, this is
Cyborg
great.
and Superman were getting kind of whooped, and Wonder Woman was the one that was like, "Yeah, maybe we should leave. You guys are getting whooped."
So maybe some magical resistance.
She's like
there.
magic-ish, yeah.
Yeah, well, if they go by what they do later in the comic, she is branded by Hecate.
Oh, you were just saying.
Yes,
this,
well,
yeah.
she as a kid she was branded because Hecate was like, I want her
Right.
one day. I want
Yeah.
to be in that body
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't remember. It's something. It's convoluted then as well.
Yeah.
So that's how they do. That's those big titles though. DC, Marvel, they just get crazy. It's never like we punched them harder. It's like we were fighting in a cocoon enveloped us of psychic energy.
We
and,
developed a new power.
or yeah, we traveled into the future for a day and we fought there, and then we came back to when they never existed, and just what?
Yeah.
Punch them harder. You know.
Be smarter.
All right, man. You ready to fight?
I'm gonna whoop you.
You ready to fight? So this is our segment. We call it Matt versus Adam. It's where we take a random character generator on TikTok and see who we get, and then see who would win. Think also have anime fusion. So we have Marvel, DC, cartoons, video games, and anime.
We have to do anime because we haven't done it.
We haven't done anime yet. So please forgive us about these characters.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't read mangas, so I don't know how powerful some of these characters have become. Hopefully we get some good ones. All right, so I'm 3-2. You're 2-3. Mm-hmm. All right, let's see who it goes. I
just hope I know the person.
Yeah, oh, you know what sucks? There's no names.
It just shows them.
It just shows the picture.
No,
Yeah,
dude.
so I know who this guy is. So,
Okay.
All right, I'm Captain Eisen from Bleach. Hopefully we know who yours is.
Okay,
Oh.
thank God.
All right, so we got Captain Eisen from Bleach
Yeah.
and Naruto.
That's Naruto, not his kid.
Yeah, no, that's yep, that's Naruto. That's
Okay.
old Naruto. That's all like
The end of
all
him,
super
right?
powered up. Yeah,
Yeah.
like chakra for days, Naruto.
Yeah.
But Eisen, man, Eisen was like he was like the main bad guy of Bleach. You looking up powers and stuff?
Yeah.
Nice. I think I take this one because Eisen's a monster, dude. You looking up Naruto?
Yeah.
All
Because,
right, all right.
luckily I at least know him, and I've seen the stuff he's done, but I definitely couldn't
I've watched both.
explain it.
I've watched both shows. I've seen the end of Naruto, and I saw the end of Eisen for the most part.
This one's just describing his story. Story is not his power. Let me go.
So what, you look up power?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, dude, and I have a Bankai, man, and it's like where you can your sword and you get all this extra powerful.
Yeah, your sword's like alive or something.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. So, and then they have, yeah, man. So, super smart, tremendous intellect, master manipulator, strategist, tactician, a Keto master, immense proficiency in using Keto spells, high level Keto spells. He can produce powerful protection spells while in battle and utilize mid level without stating name or incantation. Immense strength, super strong. Spiritual power. So within the Bleach world, right? If you don't have spiritual pressure, like they can kill regular people by just turning on their pressure.
Okay.
So like a regular person won't know what it is, but they'll just die from it. They'll just get crushed.
Damn.
So by that logic, technically, anyone from Bleach with spiritual pressure could kill anyone from any other anime. 'Cause, like Goku doesn't have spiritual pressure, but he could. So we won't go by that. We'll just go by like the person, what they have.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have spiritual power and Ryatsu control. Let's see here. Great enough to bring. See, they're getting into like all these different characters. Takes a lot of control not to crush an ant in his path, referring to other fighters, basically. It's powerful enough that he can nullify other crazy moves. Master swordsman, Shunpo master, whip expert, Hakuda master, immense durability and endurance. Got a Zanpaku toe, Bankai. Dude, he's a beast. He's a freaking beast. It's so hard to go through his, like... And he has different forms. Like Naruto does too, but this dude has like a lot of different forms and basically ends up being like monster-like.
One of my favorite things about Naruto was the Nine Tail?
Oh yeah, it's so cool.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it's so cool, especially when they like get together and like buddy.
Yeah,
and he like can use his chakra as like a cloak and stuff.
Yes, there's a lot of cool uses.
So badass
of their power, and I also like the fact that he's not world-shatteringly strong.
No, they're fairly small in scale with that. They're
semi-grounded, even I would say.
Maybe like town destroying, like city
The
destroying.
city, yeah.
Not even planet.
Not even close.
Yeah,
no.
That's why like Goku in base form would destroy them and stuff.
Oh, instantly.
I think the creator of Naruto said like, yeah, all these dudes would die from a gunshot.
Yeah, right.
Which is crazy. Like,
unless
really?
they put their power in front of them and it catches the gun, they would have to do shit like that because they are semi-human. You know.
And Bleach, he's a what is he? I think he's a human that went into that little spiritual world with all the other fighters and stuff. I did not like Bleach all that much.
Whenever I was a kid and it was on, Adult
Swim?
Not Adults, the other one. Toonami. Yeah.
Okay.
When it used to be on Toonami and I was a kid, I watched it. That was the last time I
seen
it.
I used to watch it late night. It would just be on. Like Cowboy Bebop and stuff. I would watch all that.
It was a sit-through show. You just had to sit through it to get to your next...
to the one you really wanted.
The good one after, yeah.
I didn't get into it, man. The first arc was really cool. He's like, yo, I'm going to rescue my friend. And he fights all these people that are way more powerful than him. And then the next arc was all filler.
Oh, really?
And then the next arc was these guys, I forgot what they're called, man, but they're like basically demons.
Yeah.
It's another way of saying they're
yeah.
demon monster type. So they show up, they all start fighting, and then they kidnap a girl, and he has to go to some foreign place and fight his way through a bunch. And I'm like, this is the same exact shit.
Of course, yeah.
Like that first saga was good, but Aizen is not the main bad guy because there's another dude who shows up at the end of it all.
Okay.
But Aizen is the main bad guy for a lot of it.
Okay.
And so we got two main characters here.
Yeah, that's cool. So, yeah. So we said that Naruto's is kind of like city-size destruction.
Right.
What would you say your guys' size of destruction would be equal to?
Probably city.
Right.
And maybe a little larger than a city.
That's kind of what I just city or whatever was kind of what I was thinking.
And if we're wrong, don't add us. I don't.
Yeah. Oh God, we
I
don't
don't
know.
care.
I don't know.
We don't know either.
Making
we
it up.
Really don't know.
Making it up.
But I think people would agree that I think Eisen would win this.
Really?
Yeah. We might have to take anime off this list. I don't know shit about these characters.
Yeah. I mean,
because like at the end of the fourth Ninja War, Naruto, he gets like sage power, and he gets these truth seeker orbs, and he has
Right.
like infinite fucking chakra. He has
Right.
his nine tails cloaking him. His shadow clones also have unlimited, like so much chakra.
damn.
Like
Yeah.
so he can shadow clone like almost infinite,
yeah.
and I have to fight like
all of
thousands of you
Yeah.
all at once
Yeah.
and shit.
That's what I mean. I felt like my very limited knowledge on, especially your character, my just guess was that I would win in a fight.
Naruto?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it like this. I've seen a breakdown of Aizen versus Madara, and Aizen wins. Like, barely, but he wins. And Madara fought Naruto, and Naruto beat him, but with the help of Sasuke, and then Obito also helped.
Oh, okay.
So Naruto couldn't beat Madara on his own, but Aizen could. But also that's some YouTube breakdown of their feats and stuff. So
Yeah, okay.
I think we're going main bad guy against main character.
So I always have to say this: if it was the show or the manga, the good guy always wins.
You always bring you always bring this up like it's gonna help you or something.
I just like to point it out.
Never does. I didn't bring it up when I was Marge.
Too bad.
I should have. I
Should
guess.
have.
Shit.
Learn from your mistakes, bro.
So all right. Look, I think I would win this one. I think Aizen comes out on top.
Okay.
Because Naruto needed help with Madara, and Aizen is Madara level, I believe, and
okay.
slightly stronger. Because
Madara took on like an army by himself. So
I think Aizen could too.
Okay.
And Aizen fought multiple, like colleagues, like people of comparable power.
Okay, because
all at
Madara
the
was
same
whooping
time.
people that are way lower than
Way
him.
lower,
Yeah.
but he was also
Just-
kicking people's
there were
ass that were.
thousands of them.
I mean, yeah, that was so awesome,
no
so
matter,
awesome.
Like, okay, let's say.
And he was fighting high-powered, high-level ninjas in there as well. So like,
okay, so like it's like an adult fighting a army of 6-year-olds. The first 20, you're gonna just absolutely
Just
destroy.
wreck.
But if they keep coming 1,000 deep, they're gonna whoop you eventually.
Eventually, yeah. So maybe Naruto with his like infinite chakra,
Yeah, the
and the shadow clones,
shadow clones.
could-
Yeah,
and his Rasengans and all that shit could like wear out Aizen.
yeah. I
like-
genuinely feel like he probably
He
could.
probably could, man. But I feel like Aizen's so damn powerful. His
Yeah.
spiritual pressure. He's got Bankai, Zenitsu. So like he has 2 transformations with his sword.
Okay.
And then he can also transform into a monster type character. It shows him with like tentacles and like all types or tails. Like, dude gets crazy. His sword's badass and makes him more badass.
Yeah.
So like, I'm trying to find that picture of him. And so see, like that's his transformation. He ends up, he ends up turning into all types of stuff.
Oh, okay.
So 4th fusion. That's his 4th form.
Wow.
He has a whole, like, dude's crazy. Final fusion turns into a giant winged monster type thing.
Yeah. That's crazy looking.
So he's like a hollow, man. Because there's like there's hollows. There's all types of different visored. The ones that wear visors.
All right, so we're genuinely not 100% on this one. Who's going to win?
Not.
So how are we going to do this? Because I'm not trying to just be.
No, I really don't know. Like
I
I'm
don't
agreeing
either.
with you.
Yeah.
Like I do think it's Aizen at the end, but
You know what? If you're genuinely more sure than I am sure. So
I really think so.
I'm going to defer to you.
we could be wrong. We may have to come back and amend
Somebody's
this
going to
one.
explain it.
Someone might.
Someone
yeah.
will explain it.
If someone does and explains it well and we're
and
like,
concisely.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Then we will amend it. We'll change the record.
There you go.
But yeah, for now, dude, I think main villain, top villain,
He is.
even Naruto at the end of his show. Shit, man, because then even in Boruto, he's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like, God. Oh, this is a good one. So,
We
do we tie?
coin flip?
No.
Coin flip.
Do we tie? Do we just
We could
for the birds?
I would do a tie. I would do a tie, actually. We have
So
never
we're-
discussed this. But
Yeah, so a 3, 2, and 1.
we have to split. We got a 0.5 each.
No, because then that's math, and I don't want to do that.
Okay.
So, we'll tie it for now,
Okay.
and then we can discuss it maybe after we do some research
Bring
or
it
something.
back up at some point.
Oh man, I really don't want to do that. I want to.
I said tie would work, or even a coin flip.
Hold on. Coin flip maybe. Let's see if let's real quick. I know we're taking it up, but let's see if anyone
Has done this
yeah,
breakdown
if anyone
already?
has asked this
Oh,
question
my God.
before.
I guarantee. Oh, I guess maybe
Aizen
not.
versus Naruto, who would win? There we go.
Somebody really. Oh,
Yeah, they're straight up.
of course, of course. What was I thinking?
All right. So this guy, this dude's saying Naruto. I don't see any way for Aizen to take this based on Naruto's durability, versatility, and damage. Genjutsu doesn't affect Naruto because of Kurama, and Aizen's hypnosis might not affect Naruto, but I feel like it's Aizen's stomp. He has a really high base stats, and when he's infused, he's basically unstoppable. So it seems like it's kind of split, man. They're both this.
It
that
genuinely
sucks.
does, yeah.
They're saying Aizen, and then all these other people are like, nah.
Nah.
What can Naruto do to put down Aizen? Dude is immortal and constantly evolving. And then someone said sealing. So he could seal him. So, fuck, man. What do you want to do? Coin flip, tie? Coin flip or tie? What do you want to do? I'll
I'd rather
defer
do
to you.
coin flip.
All right, go get a coin.
All right, I'm going.
Do you have a coin?
Yeah.
Joe broke ass. We're gonna go knock on neighbors' doors. You'll got a coin.
Hey, we got a penny.
All right, so heads is Naruto, tails is Aizen.
All right. Heads Naruto, tails. Aizen. Oh my god.
Oh, it landed on its side. Are you serious? Who won?
Head.
Oh, okay. So that's fine, man. I'll take that. Yeah,
I'm
I'll
very
take
happy
that. It
with
seems like the internet is somewhat split on it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if they can't figure it out, then shit, man.
I don't feel bad not being able to figure it out either.
Yeah, I mean this.
We are merely men.
And see, this person's saying Aizen could solo the Naruto verse.
Oh my god.
But see, like, yeah, One Piece characters I think would do really good against Naruto's characters. Like, I mean, Dragon Ball would stomp him.
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
Goten. No, who's the young one? Goten.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he could solo the Naruto verse.
Oh,
and
yeah.
he's Super
Yeah,
Saiyan
yeah.
now. So
Yeah, he could.
But like, I don't know how it's Bleach and.
Because if it was the power scaling was correct, that little dude could blow the planet up, 100%.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So
And if
would
he
win.
couldn't do it, he could do it in like a year or
Yeah,
so.
if he just tried.
Just next
have
transformation, he
to
could
try.
probably right.
Yeah.
Dad teach him the Kamehameha, and
Yep.
he's got it.
Yeah.
He'll do it.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know. I think Bleach and Naruto would be really good fights, though.
yeah, it sounds like people have thought about it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, two of the big three.
Yeah. So, what am I, we're 3 and 3 now?
3 and 3.
That's right.
Fuck you.
3 and 3, bitch.
All right. I think that's the show.
Yeah. That'll work.
Little long one this week, but we had two really cool comics, and
Yeah.
we wanted to talk about it. I mean, we're gonna do the shit anyway, so might as well.
Might as well.
All right, so we'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.
Bye.